No.
You probably did with a bowie run into somebody's house.
I have to be early.
What is that? What is that? Can't read it. I'm half blind.
It's the only time I'll sit here and wait till right on the dot, just for you.
That's what I do.
Yeah, I do too.
My wife knows anytime there's a
Almost
special
there. Here we go.
occasion, she can never watch.
Time is now 6 p.m. and we will call this meeting to order.
Join me in prayer. Dear Father, we thank you for the beautiful day you've given us today, for the blue sky and the cooler weather. Thank you for all we have and all we are. Please be with us tonight. Guide our council and our citizens as decisions are made for the best of the city. We ask you to be with our first responders, with your protection and discernment. We pray for all of our staff, our citizens, that Richwood will continue to be a place to be proud of. We pray for those affected by the recent storms and continue to recover. We pray for all those in our community, country, and beyond that are in need. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Phillips here.
Oh, you did. She's good.
All council members are present. Chief, do we have any public comments, sir? Thank you very much. Mr. Page, you have a public comment? Can you please come up?
Chief or Bob?
I've been up here once before on this subject. I was hoping I wouldn't have to be here again. And yeah, I like the way you looked away from me just as I looked right up here, because you know what it's going to be about. I'm going to try to be nice. I'm going to try to be businesslike. But, Mr. Challenger, as you have on numerous occasions mentioned that you own a business and what you do and how you do it in that business. Well, let me give you a scenario here, an example. As a business owner, you have a large business and you have an employee that reports to HR and says one of their supervisors, and on 3 separate occasions, raised their voice, was inappropriate, and in one of those occasions even used inappropriate language. As the owner of that business, HR came to you. I don't know about you, but if I was the owner, what I would advise that HR to do is give 2 options. One, they would suggest to that supervisor either they resign on their own and it's time to be fired. I was hoping the way you, not only 1 but 3 occasions, I'm not sure about the second occasion. The first occasion was the very one I was up here talking about. But in other words, in essence, you were the city manager. If the city manager was to treat the people under him, Christine or any of the others that worked with him, would y'all not, all 5 of y'all, be up here at the very next meeting asking Eric for his resignation? Would you or would you not? Okay. Then why have you not yet issued a resignation or best case scenario confirmed, and will say right here in this meeting that you will not run for re-election come May? I know you may not, I don't know what the norm is. You will answer that question. But that was totally uncalled for. And like you many a time, when you were elected, were you elected by just the residents and members of the HMA in Oakwood Shores? Or were you elected by the entire town of Richwood? Because I'm paraphrasing right now, and this is the way I heard it, so this is just my personal opinion. At a point when there was a discussion going on, and there was an HOA member here also talking that was a member from Oakwood Shores. Oakwood Shores residents, tax-wise, should be given preferential treatment because they've got the richer homes. I would have to go back and get the print, but there is a spot in there where you didn't say it directly, but you implied it. Well, I would like to remind you that you were elected by, you not only, yeah, you got representation by those people that have 900,000 plus homes, you know, that has a $60,000, $70,000 wood home. You are there to represent all of them. And I will say here, as a resident, I'm really unhappy that other people weren't here to tell you just how disrespectful it was, berate a city employee, and for that matter, indirectly, one of your employees that you have direct representation as your city manager. Like I said, I think that's all I have to say, but you get my message.
Thank you, Mr. Page. Nobody else is here, so. Report, August 2024. Can you say them all?
You can.
B, approve a resolution updating the city's purchasing policy to include language from the local government code. And C, approval of minutes from regular meeting held September 9th, 2020.
And approve. Motion to approve B and C.
You should have a second.
Do we have a second?
I don't think you have to have a second to remove it.
You made a motion to approve item B and C?
Well, yeah.
No second? The motion does not carry.
But we still, correct me if I'm wrong, but we still, any board member can have a discussion on any consent agenda item.
We can pull A down
Okay.
and have discussion on it. You just didn't get a second on the motion to approve.
We're going to move that down to a discussion action item.
Yeah, just the budget report. And then we'll need a motion for the remainder.
Okay, do we have a motion for items B and C? Or a second?
I don't understand what we're removing, so, I mean, my motion would be to approve the entire consent agenda.
So, is that your motion?
Yes.
Okay, then, yeah. I was just say that, if you want to move A out of the consent agenda, you can do that by motion.
Right.
Ms. Challenger's already made a motion, there was no second. Now, you have a motion to approve all three, so now we can continue with the second, and if there's a vote on that, we can.
Okay.
I'll second the motion to approve A, B, and C on the consent agenda.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect the motion carries. Okay, moving on to presentation. A, challenge coin presentation from Missouri County Sheriff's Office to Councilman Will Yerson.
You can do it, Paul.
Is that you?
We're going to do it.
Do you want to stand up or do you want to just do it from your... Okay.
I'd rather stand.
We can see you there. Right there's fine.
So, for those of y'all that don't know much about what we do as first responders, we very frequently put ourselves in danger. we have very volatile situations. Well, one arose on the 4th of October, which is a sort of crisis. Mr. Yearson did not hesitate to act, and he did everything perfect to a T. He's got military experience, he's got law enforcement background, so that helped. We appreciate you being there. His courage and dedication to help a fellow, person in crisis averted a pretty bad situation. So on behalf of the Missouri County Sheriff's Office, I wish somebody else would have been here, but I guess they nominated me. I'd like to present you a challenge coin. Pretty cool little thing there. We appreciate all your help that day. And I actually sat down and talked with him yesterday, and I'm glad he's doing a lot better. So I appreciate it. Thanks for the help. You didn't have to, but we're glad you were there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Mr. Yearson, what you did. Presentation item B, Certificate of Appreciation for Mayor Durham, presented by the Missouri County AgriLife Extension.
Mayor, council, got to start with a great big Texas A&M howdy. Thank you for having me back here once again. And on behalf of Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, I'm excited to be able to share with you what our horticulture department and our Brazoria County Master Gardeners have been doing for the last year. Next slide, please. If you're not familiar with me or with Extension, my name is Kimberly Mayer. I am the horticulture agent for Brazoria County. My job is to provide educational outreach opportunities on all things horticulture related, so from trees to turf to tomatoes, we teach about all of those things. I also oversee and advise the Brazoria County Master Gardeners as well. And so that's a little bit about what I do. At Extension, we value people, programs, and partnerships, and that is exactly where we've put our resources during 2023 and have continued to do so in 2024. We have invested in individuals who value our organization. We have refined our educational programming to meet the needs of Brazoria County residents, and we have forged partnerships and maintained relationships with several local organizations, and that just strengthens our ties to the community. Next slide, please. So here is a look at some of the people that we have invested in, and that is our 2024 Master Gardener Intern Program. In January of this year, we began an 11-week journey of education and fellowship with about 21 students. Over the course of those 2.5 months or so, we laughed, we learned, we ate really well, and we created some lifetime friendships with people that we would have not otherwise have met. We heard from extension specialists on topics like plant growth and development, integrated pest management, turf grass, and earth-kind gardening. We also brought in our own local experts to teach about things like herbs, vegetables, pruning woody ornamentals, and different topics like that. We also implemented a lot more hands-on teaching and practical application of vital gardening skills, such as how exactly to fertilize your lawn properly, how to plant a tree properly, and how to take soil sample. So these interns received over 50 hours of education from AgriLife Extension, and then once they complete their 50 hours of volunteer service, we make them officially official and certify them as a Texas Master Gardener. We had a really great group of go-getters, and I would say 75% of those interns are already certified. They actually have a whole year to get that done, but we have some really motivated students this year, and they've gotten that done early. Next slide, please. So from the feedback that I have received, the interns really appreciate this type of learning environment and that interactive experience. And so we're thrilled that we can provide such innovative and immersive training to our interns. Next slide, please. So here's a look at our numbers for 2023. We currently have 107 certified master gardeners and 15 interns. Those members have not only volunteered, but they've given, time out of their busy lives, over 11,000 hours. And they've also attended more than 2,500 hours of education so that they can remain certified and continue to share their knowledge and expertise. And something that you may not realize is that these interns actually, they use their own vehicle, their own gas to drive to these different outreach events. And so over the course of a year, they have put in over 81,000 miles driving all over Brazoria County for outreach. And so these numbers are really just a direct reflection of the high quality of educational programs that we offer to our audience in this area. Next slide, please. So another aspect of our outreach program is that we've been working to really make our presence known in more of the counties. From the slide there, you can see that in 2023, we were able to serve 9 cities throughout the county. And in 2024, we've already been able to reach 12. And so we do that by different types of educational outreach, from tree and plant sales to speaking engagements and different things like that. I also offer certain educational opportunities as well. One particular one was called, I offered this year, was called Triple T. It stands for trees, turf, and tomatoes, because like I mentioned at the beginning, that's what makes the extension phone and my email notifications ding the most, or trees, turf, and tomatoes. So why not have a series on all of that? Because basically, nobody calls me about how to grow kohlrabi. So trees, turf, and tomatoes it is. Next slide, please. All right, so to close out the message of valuing people, programs, and partnerships, let me just share a really cool and exceptional alliance that we have with Harvest for the Hungry. If you are not familiar with that organization, they are a nonprofit in Freeport, the Oyster Creek, Freeport area, that strives to meet the needs of people who suffer from food insecurity. So they have 40+ acres of land. That includes a 2-story educational building, a children's garden, apiary, shade houses. They've got chickens, row gardens, and plenty of wildlife. We began our partnership with them almost 2 years ago and haven't looked back. What started as a request for a junior master gardener program has blossomed into additional programming and resources, and a beginner farmer and rancher program. And you can see there that almost all the different departments of Brazoria County, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension here in Brazoria County have some type of relationship with Harvest for the Hungry. And so what's really neat is that all of our agents are able to work with that organization, and we've been able to cultivate additional relationships out of that program that we have with Harvest, and that includes the After 5 Rotary Club of Lake Jackson, Starbucks in Freeport, Destin Nowak is Texas Garden Guy, he's a social media gardening influencer, and so there's lots of amazing things that have happened as a result of working with Harvest for the Hungry, and I'm really looking forward to many more things that will develop in the future. Next slide, please. So with that, I'll wrap this up and tell you that although we're doing some great things here in Brazoria County, none of that would be possible without the immense support and encouragement of everyone throughout the county, as well as our volunteers and especially our master gardeners. And so there's just one last look at the value of what our master gardeners have put into Brazoria County. And last slide, please. So now to what we're here for, the Strawberry Jamboree. If you haven't heard about this, this is our second annual Jamboree. This event came about due to a need for teaching the public the proper time to plant strawberries. Most of the big box stores, you'll notice, will try and sell you strawberry plants in the spring, and in all actuality, you should be planting strawberries now. So we created the Strawberry Jamboree to teach more people about that. This year we had speakers and exhibitors. We had a strawberry shortcake contest and well over 100 people in attendance. We also offered bare root strawberry plants for people to pre-order, and to date we've sold about 1,500 of those. And those proceeds go to our horticulture committee so that we can continue to provide high-quality educational programming like the Strawberry Jamboree and others. And so programs like this can't be pulled off without our volunteers. I can't, every time I speak somewhere, I have to brag on our Master Gardeners. They're an amazing group of people, super dedicated and passionate about what they do. And so not only did we have our Master Gardeners there, but we had judges who had the very tough job of judging our strawberry shortcake contest. And that was your very own Mayor, Michael Durham. And so tonight we want to personally thank him for coming to the event. And it was I know it was a tough job to try all those delicious strawberry cakes and pies and yumminess. So we want to thank you and present you with a certificate of appreciation for his dedicated service to AgriLife Extension. So thank you very much, Mayor Durham. Would you mind coming up for a certificate?
Sure. Hopefully I'll get a better picture next time.
That was in the facts.
I know.
That was a good one.
She caught me at the worst moment. I'd be glad to do it
Shoving that
again.
in there.
Like it was really concentrated on that bite there.
See if
That one is
Trish is gonna
for you.
hopefully. Not photographers. I know.
You're good, you're good. Don't let me get your way.
No, I think Trish is gonna do it. Thanks.
Good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I also have a little strawberry recipe book for your wife in case you want to try
I didn't
some
get this.
recipes. So, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. I'll be glad to do it anytime you ask. I don't want to have to beg again. I love the desserts.
Annual coming up next year.
All right, we're going to move on to discussion and action items. Discussion and action item A, discuss and consider awarding the GLO CDDG MIT MOD contract number 24-065-013-E170 to Matula Construction, Inc.
Well, it's long-winded.
Hopefully that's the longest part.
So we've been talking about this project for, it's got to be about 2 years now. We've gone through the required steps of advertisement and bidding, and we're ready for a construction contract award. If anybody is not familiar with the grant is an allocation to the city of Richwood, zero match, about $2.4 million, and was based on the losses we sustained during Hurricane Harvey. The project had a couple of pre-qualifications that were important. One was substantial damage sustained during Harvey. The other was low to moderate income areas. So with those two things considered, we focused on Briar Creek, Quail Run, and Four Oaks, which still met both qualifications. So we currently have about $2 million after engineering and grant admin services for construction. And based on the bids that came in, our lowest being Matula at $1.893 million.
It was broken into two parts. There was a base bid for streets, drainage reconstruction, and water service and tie-ins. Jared, correct?
Yeah, and water underneath new pavement.
Okay, okay. So we had an alternate bid. We split them up into two. We knew we were going to be close to our budgeted amount. The alternate bid is going to replace the entirety of water infrastructure in the whole area. So it's pretty exciting that we were able to get under the $2 million for all of it. So as of now, we are requesting to award the construction contract to Matula and Matula. That includes the base bid and the bid alternate at a cost of $1,893,449.90. We do have some remainder funds left over past that, roughly $106,000. We are going to hold on to that money. With construction like this, you could run into situations that require change orders, additional monies, stuff like that. If we do not encounter any significant change orders, towards the latter part of the job, when we get into the pavements, we plan on making those pavement profiles more resilient, maybe thicker concrete or better treatment of subgrade. So the goal is we want to spend the money. If we don't spend it, we have to give it back.
Yeah.
So we want to spend it. There are ways that we can make the project more resilient, but we want to be cautious at first. It's a pretty big project, and just make sure we got our bases covered before we do such.
Just to clarify for everyone who didn't read the bids outside of us, the grant money fulfills the entire cost of the bid, correct? There's
And
no
then some.
out-of-pocket for the city of Richwood for this?
That's correct. There's no cost. No out-of-pocket cost for the city of Richwood.
Okay.
Can we use the grant money for anything else?
No, it has to be this project.
It has to be those streets, not just, we couldn't use it for
Correct.
anything else.
I'll make a motion to approve item A.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Let the record reflect the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thank you, sir. Okay, item B, consider rescheduling the regular council meeting scheduled for November 11th, 2024 due to Veterans Day holiday.
So our next meeting falls on the holiday. Just need to get everybody's schedules so we can get it rebooked.
Are you wanting it Monday or the Tuesday?
Let me look, because KRB rebooked because of election. Let me just make sure I don't double book the room. Okay, we moved KRB to the 8th, so
Okay.
as long as it's not the 8th.
Are you going to do the 7th?
You could do the 7th if you'd like to do the 7th.
What are your thoughts, council?
I'm
Oh, no.
fine with the 7th.
The 7th is a Thursday.
Oh,
I'm looking at October. I was on the wrong month.
sorry.
KRB rebooked to the 6th. I'm looking at the wrong month. So the Mondays that month are the
The
4th
4th.
and the 18th, if we want to keep it a Monday.
Yeah, it don't matter good either.
Is there any interference with the 4th for anybody?
I'll be out of town, but I'm sure I can get somebody to
Zoom in.
I'm good for the 4th. 18th, I'll be out of the country.
I'll be in there.
I'm good for the 4th.
Okay, someone want to make a motion for the...
I'll make a motion to reschedule the November council meeting to Monday, November 4th,
I'll second.
due to the holiday.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Let the record reflect the motion carries. Went from 6 weeks absence to see you guys in a few weeks. Okay, action item C, discuss, consider, and approve resolution 24-R-92 and appoint representatives for the 2025 HGAC board.
Every year we get requests from HGAC to designate our representative for the General Assemblies of Cities. We just need to designate a primary and an alternate. They would be invited to any meetings that the HGAC would put on. Once I give them the information, then I believe Vanessa, who's the board coordinator, will then reach out for any upcoming meetings, and you can come back and report. The General Assembly kickoff meeting is a dinner meeting Thursday, November 7th at 6 p.m. So if anybody's interested in serving.
I can do it.
Where they do those at?
So it's the Houston Galveston Area Council.
Oh.
They just sit in on regional information that they host and meetings. It's a lot of our grant allocations go through them once they come from TDM. So they want each city to have a representative on the General Assembly. So we just need an alternate. Amanda said she would
I'll do the alternate.
be primary.
She's gonna do that.
Okay, so if I could just get a motion to appoint Amanda as
No.
primary. You can do it.
I'm making a motion to appoint Amanda as the primary and Jeremy as the secondary for the HGAC.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Okay, let the record reflect the motion carries. Was there a nay, Mike? Okay. 1 nay, 4 yeas. Okay. Thank you, Amanda.
You're welcome.
Okay, discussion and action item D, discuss and appoint the 2024 Charter Review Board members.
So charter review is every 2 years. We compile a board of 5 residents to review the charter and recommend any amendments that will then be presented to the voters in May. I've received 4 applications. Mr. Page is here and Mr. Garborough is here. It's also Lauren LeCount and Mike Johnson, former council member, who has requested to serve. I'm going to continue to try and do outreach for a 5th member. So I just need a motion to appoint so that way we can get started with our meetings.
Do we need to say their names or just?
Appoint the board members, I guess.
You can. Do you want me to pull it up? Who it all is?
It doesn't matter.
I would say go ahead.
You say the
Name
names?
them. Yeah.
Okay.
All names.
Okay. So I will make a motion to appoint the 2024 Charter Review Board members as Mr. Page, Mr. Yarborough, sorry Matt, Miss LeCount, and Mr. Johnson.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay.
Let the record reflect the motion carries with 1 nay.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for serving on the board. I
Thank
did
you
this
guys
a
very
couple
much.
years ago. It's really important, and I'm glad that y'all are doing this.
And I didn't bully anyone to serve.
Not what I heard.
Neither of you.
I heard.
It was a gentle push.
Gentle nudge.
Yeah.
Gentle. But I do appreciate y'all. And I'll send out emails with all of the deets.
Okay.
This is like the Kirsten
Item
show
E.
today. Okay, so annually we host Trunk or Treat. Pre-COVID, we've had, or post-COVID, we've had one actual. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You want?
You said item E.
I was going to read
Oh, I'm
it if you
sorry.
want me to.
I was trying to go ahead.
Discuss and consider request to allow street closure of Audubon Woods Drive from North Mahan to Wisteria for the city of Richwood to host Trunk or Treat on October 25th, 2024 from 5 to 9 p.m.
Yes, so he said it. We usually close the street down in front of the park. That way the vehicles can park with trunks facing the road and the children can safely navigate the event, and then we can host vendors under the pavilion. This is even more important this year and last year because we host it the same night as Polk's annual Fall Fest. So families will be navigating between the school and the pavilion. So blocking that road off really keeps everybody safe going back and forth between the events.
I'll make a motion to approve item E.
I just.
Go ahead.
Can I ask
You
something?
can talk.
There's a motion, so we need a second, then we can discuss.
Well, I'll second it, but they don't listen.
Okay, all in favor?
Well,
Wait.
we can discuss
No,
now.
you can discuss it.
I just was going to ask, we just need one of the police to do it?
Yes, I've
That's
already
it.
booked Public Works and the PD to help. Fire department usually blocks one end of the road, and then PD will help me block in the area closest to the school. They'll still have access to their parking lot.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Uh-huh. So we're gonna block it right before the crosswalk at
Yeah.
the pavilion, so they can still access their parking lot in and out. And then it'll actually be closed further down the curve of North Mahan towards the service center, just because if a car does get past, it's difficult to turn around once they get to the block.
There's usually a lot of cars, they're doing, it's the same night as theirs, there'll be a lot of folks up there.
Like last year.
Yeah, it just helped with not having cars running through there with
Yeah.
people.
Everywhere.
And they usually set up vendors in their circle driveway, so it also helps not having vehicles trying to go into their circle drive. But they'll still be able to access the event and parking. They could park at the baseball fields for our event or at the Polk parking lot for their event.
Okay.
And you said Cliff presented a budget for this?
He gives me a little change for this event.
Okay. So we had a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, let the record reflect the motion carries. No items were removed from the consent agenda, so capital
It's not a
approval.
big deal, but I thought that's how anybody could just remove it and we could talk about it. The sole purpose
Just had to
of the
be
consent
second,
agenda.
right?
I
Billy?
didn't think you needed a second.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something from the consent agenda, you have a motion to remove it to discuss it.
It doesn't need a second?
No,
Okay,
he's saying
then-
it does.
Yeah, it does need a second.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay. It does need a second.
All right. Here we go.
Okay. Next is capital improvements projects update.
So first and foremost, we reward the construction contracts for the Mid-Mod project. We'll start circulating those contracts for signatures amongst the contractor, city, and engineer. Hopefully we'll, with any luck, we'll break ground before the end of the year, but I feel safe that it's not going to be anything significant impacting residents such as road work or anything like that, these first parts of the job. That will probably be after January 1.
Okay.
So we're there on that. So our ARPA projects, of course, South Water Plant's closed out as of 9/10. We're currently still working with the generators. Gas lines on Mahan and Oyster Creek Drive are anticipated for installation within 3 to 5 weeks. The automatic transfer switches for the 2 units, all the gear should be in to the contractor by this week. They're anticipating having that installed by the end of the month. And the generator's set to hit this site, hit Richwood by middle of December. Contractor should have them 1st of December, which has moved up 1 month from what it was about 6 months ago. So we're moving the timeline up a little bit. Lift Station 6, we are currently waiting on the contractor to get back with us. Once they know that the required piping is en route, once they do that, we'll have about a week timeline to provide notice to all the involved entities, we include Lake Jackson, college, BISD, as many people as we can get to notify them. We are gonna be closing the north bridge over Oyster Creek at College Drive, so we're gonna be turning the 2 lanes of the south bridge to one way. One coming east, one going west.
I think there's a daycare there also. Are we gonna maybe make sure we get some communication to them so they can tell the parents?
Yeah, it's a good idea. We're gonna make a note.
Because that's probably
Well, they
gonna
do
get pretty crazy around drop-off time.
There's a daycare and a dog daycare right there,
Yeah.
but the daycare is more effective.
Well, yeah,
And
the
they
dog
enter from
daycare I
that
think
side.
opens a little bit later too, so it's not as like,
Hectic.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit hectic because of squeezing those 2 lanes down into one.
yeah.
And then, but to help with this, we are going to, I presented the traffic plan to John Wilkinson and Clute. We're gonna restrict left-hand turns from Williamsburg onto College Drive, so that's College Park. That first exit right by the creek, they're gonna be forced right. They won't be allowed to turn left and cross those lanes of traffic.
I have to go down to the other entrance, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, down to the other, or out to 288B or wherever they're going. Also, the east exit of the college by the Clarion, we're going to force them right as well. They're not going to be able to turn left.
Okay.
And they're also not going to be able to use that entrance into the college while we close that road. We want to not create a situation where we're merging all kinds of lanes of traffic trying to head that one way towards Lake Jackson.
I guess the college security would help with that too, right? Block on their property to block off.
We'll be providing all the signage.
Okay.
Well, the contractor. We'll be providing all the signage, barricades, anything needed to implement that plan will be provided. We would just provide them notice and plenty of time so they can pass that out through their channels to everybody that needs to know.
Okay.
We'll do our best to make sure everybody knows.
Mr. Wright?
My question is, since this is gonna affect the college, and since you have a large portion of people that travel from Angleton to the college on a daily basis, have they considered not only posting information in groups in England stuff, but also maybe some street signs over on the other side of Three Bridges or something that basically announces about the partial closure? In
We
essence,
can,
let people
we can make that happen.
Let it not be a surprise to people from Angleton that are traveling to college.
Sure.
Yeah, it probably in a little bit more general form, such as road work ahead or something like that, but we can definitely forewarn before we get to the intersection. But we can do something like that.
If we have some kind of public information page or kind of flyer, I can forward it to Mayor Wright as well, so he can send it out to all his residents.
Yeah, Mike, I'll include you in the email, along with the other 27 folks or whatever are going to be on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and the last thing I have is the interlocal road work. Every year, the county sends a project summary request form to me for our requested road work from the county through our interlocal agreement. It's typically done by me and by my assessment of the worst road situations that we have. We've used, most of it we've used in Oakwood Shores due to the need over the past 10 years. That's kind of hemmed up out there, and we can move on to some other things. Based on my assessment, Chalet and Halbert are the asphalt streets that I see that are suffering the worst. Aside of Cypress, which is going to be reconstructed, it was approved in the budget. So this right here would reconstruct Chalet and Halbert down to the base, not the subgrade. Portland cement stabilization of a reclaimed base and a fresh layer of asphalt. Also, I have the Richwood Community Building parking lot. It's kind of a mess. If y'all have been over there and seen that, I think it's not the base that's failing, but it needs a good top layer of asphalt. So we were going to mill that and provide another layer of asphalt over that. The current project estimate is roughly $200,000. Our transportation fund balance right now is $364,180. So we have plenty to cover it. And that keeps us within the 2-mile limit put on us by the county.
Okay.
Well within it.
Good.
Yeah. So it doesn't require approval. I just wanted to bring it for council. If you had any discussion, any questions, anything.
How would they, I guess, determine the distance in your parking lot? They just measure it and add it to your mileage?
I do, yeah. I have to provide those measurements. Chalet came out to 1,500 feet, Halbert's about 730, and the parking lot's about 80 by 180 as far as feet goes. So
yeah.
I just present those to them. They return to me a sheet with an actual estimated cost from the engineering department, and then we say yes or no. But this particular request is going to require your signature to move forward. So I just wanted to bring it to council for any discussion. I have till November 1st to turn it in and see if I can answer any questions.
Before you get on to
Also, the millings, they're just going to mill it up and kind of recycle it and put it back down, right?
No, not on the streets. We don't like to do that because over in the past years, Richwood's had a habit of doing that because the milling machine is additional cost. It's about $15,000 a month to rent the machine. So what they do is they would till it. They would spread it out. Some of it goes in the ditches. It's not bad. They do good with it, but the road profile increases in elevation every time they do it. So we have some areas where we have 10 plus inches of asphalt stacked on top of each other. So the milling mills that down 4 or 5 inches. They haul those millings out, reclaim what's left with the existing base with Portland cement, and then put a 4-inch fresh layer of asphalt over the top. Matches up with driveways better. We just decrease those slopes. Some of those ledges can be over a foot where it meets driveways, so we try to eliminate that.
I got you. I'll tell you, there's 2 dump trucks full of millings at the front of Oakwood Shore there.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted that as well.
No, it's county uses it. They love the material.
Add to your parking lot.
So yeah, but the community building parking lot would be done like that. They would till it, they would spread it, compact it, and just lay new asphalt over the top of that.
Good deal. Thank you, Cliff.
They restripe it as well, or you gotta stripe it?
We'll have to stripe it. We'll work it out. We'll get it done.
Do we pick the color? Okay, next is city manager's report.
Mayor, Council, you have before you the city manager's report. Pretty much same thing as went out Friday. The only thing I would like to add is we have a meeting with FEMA tomorrow, just costing meeting, kind of general paperwork stuff. And then on the 16th, we also have a Zoom or Teams meeting. Again, that's just a progress meeting that we're going through with them. And then tomorrow, we have a meeting with Waste Connections to discuss some heavy trash issues that have come up since Hurricane Beryl, and look forward to a good face-to-face discussion with them on some issues we're having. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Councilmember Stallberg, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, first of all, Mr. Page, thank you for coming. I actually wish more citizens would come to these meetings. You can actually learn, what's going on in your community. I want some strawberry cake too, Miss Mayor. Thank you for coming. I'm trying to get my wife to start participating in these things, so maybe I can borrow the cookbook one time.
Not a chance. You get your picture in the facts like that.
But yeah, thank y'all. Thank you for the information. That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Challenger?
Yeah, thank you for coming, by the way, and I share that. I wish more residents could come and see everything that goes on here. It baffles me that any organization can function with a hiding of the ball. It seems that and I don't want to malign anyone, but when it's time and time and time again, it's hard to believe that it's anything but. And I want to do everything with integrity. I want to bring the city to righteousness. And sometimes it is a struggle. And, there, as it says, is allow the wicked to be wicked, allow the righteous to be righteous, and the holy to be holy. And we talk about it here so that we don't have to talk about it on the street. So we won't always agree on everything. Personally, I don't think that we should agree on pretty much anything. If we with that mentality, when we do finally agree on something, we know it's definitely important. So there are opposing opinions and opposing views. I do apologize to anyone I offended. I did not know that who put things in certain places. I don't know that type of information. But this is the place to have those conversations. And at times it may seem unprofessional, but the alternative would be that I would be something that I didn't want to be. So, with that said, thank you, everybody, for coming, and I will think about it. That's all I have to share.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Reynolds?
I just wanted to say thanks again for those of you who chose to volunteer for the Charter Committee. It's an important thing that we do on a routine basis. And I hope that everybody in the city comes out to enjoy Trunk or Treat. It's a really cool event that KRB spends a lot of time planning and coordinating, and it's really fun for the kids.
So, thank you, Ms. Reynolds. Councilmember Yerson?
I'd like to, first of all, say thank you to Mr. Page for coming out here. I wish more residents stood up and spoke and, came in here to let us as a council know and as a city know how they feel as residents, how they, how they feel about the way we conduct ourselves up here, the way business is conducted, the way the city's conducted, period. And so I appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully more people can do that. Thank you to Ms. Mayor for coming in with all her educational information today, because I did not realize there was that many involved in that. And for the mayor eating all the strawberry cake and not sharing. And other than that, just thank you for everything that everyone does up here.
Thank you, Mr. Yerson. Mr. Fountain?
Just a quick shout out and a thank you to the chief and his department and for everyone of the city staff for the National Night Out that we had on October 1st. It was a lot of good turnout, a lot of folks out there. I know a lot of work goes into it, and so it was fun to see everybody out there and stuff. So a huge thank you to all those involved in making that happen. Other than that, I think hopefully we'll get some cool weather here, and the mayor said he's going to use his cookbook to bring us some cake next month, so we'll look forward to seeing that.
My oven broke. I have to borrow yours. Thank you, Mr. Fountain. Okay, Mr. Page, I don't think anybody's thanked you here, but thank you for showing up. It is good to see residents. Ms. Mayor, I love when you come. Typically, it's only to bring an award, but it's friendly face to the audience as well. I want to give a huge shout out to police and fire for their presence at the Missouri County Fair Parade. I felt honored to be a part of that, coming from last year to this year, just to see the kids and the first responders. The kids' faces are just ear to ear isn't even enough on the smile. So Gibson had a great time. I had a great time, and I would love to do it again. AgriLife, thank you for having me. Like I said, I would be honored to do it again if I get the opportunity. Mr. Yerson, thank you for what you did for our people in our community. Some heroes are somewhat unseen, but I've been through something like that, and it takes a lot of guts to do what you did. Paul, for being there as well. And I want to thank staff for that, and the people that showed up for National Night Out. That was a great event. We didn't get to stay long, but it was awesome. So thank you all for that. Don't forget Trick or Treat and schedule your dentist appointment in November for all that candy. And that's all I have. Next is items of community interest.
So, as Amanda stated, Trunk or Treat is October 25th. It's from 6 to 8 at Ellis Park. We're still accepting applicants or anybody that wants to participate to host a trunk for the event. You can find a link on our website for a Google form to participate.
I have a question on some of our community stuff. How's our recycling doing? Do we have any updates?
She is...
It's doing really well.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
she's
it's
already
doing
like
well.
almost, I think, maybe like 150 to 200 pounds. She dropped a box over at Crawford's and they said they'll get us 1,000 in a month. So we may have 6 benches in the city by
She's
the end of
gotten
the
a
year.
lot of businesses to participate and post.
Because I was about to boost it if we needed
Oh
it.
no, boost it, but she'll have boxes every event and she's It's doing great.
Can we have a higher goal than a bench?
I just
Not
think we can get
basketball
more
goal?
benches.
Yeah.
It's, their benches made out
Yeah,
of the
bake her a
plastic,
strawberry cake. With
You
your
really want that,
cookbook.
huh?
But
Might have to
yes,
borrow an apron, chief.
recycling, Next Trex is still going great.
And the one at the park's doing okay?
Yeah, no mattresses.
I haven't seen one.
No, it's doing good.
It's doing good.
I look every time I go by there and
I do
it's
too.
never cluttered.
I do too.
They do a really good
I
job.
think Tracy takes really good care of
The
that whole area.
mattresses are in the ditches, they're not in the over there.
Because I told them, don't put it out in my recycling.
I think that was it for all that. We have any future agenda items?
Yes, sir. We will have fire department update report next agenda, and we will, several council members have asked for ethics conversation about maybe amending the ethics code. So we'll have a discussion action item on that as well. That's all we've got for now. There'll be others, but that's what we've got for now.
Oh, and I'll have the TikTok ban ready. I almost did it for this one.
TikTok ban?
It's SB 1513.
Yeah,
We
it's a
have to
new
pass a
state law.
policy banning TikTok from
Government.
government
Government
devices.
devices.
That's okay.
That'll be there. We have to get it done.
Well,
I have no idea.
the time is now 6:58 with no other action items or items of